Good afternoon, everyone. This might shut off on me, but when it shuts off on me, I'm not going to start over. I'm going to keep on going. But I have a question. Let me know in here in the answers. I'm tempted to write a letter to serial killers or killers because I want to see their point of view of what happened. Okay? You tell me which one. Okay? You write down which one I should write. But this one I'm doing is Lorenzo Jerome Gilyard Jr. He is he is a rapist, murderer, and a strangler. They call him the Kansas City Strangler. So he is an American serial killer, a former trash company supervisor. Gilyard is believed to have raped and murdered at least 13 women and girls from 1977 to 1993. He was convicted of 6 counts of first-degree murder on March 16, 2017. 2007. Here's his early life. Jermaine was born on May 24, 1950, in Kansas City, Missouri, one of the 5 children born Lorenzo Gilyard Sr. and his wife Laura. From the early stages, Lorenzo exhibited aggressive behavior during the school years. He played on sports teams with his brothers as larger than most of his peers. His physical assaulted smaller children and earned a reputation as a bully. So he was a bully. I got bullied in school too. So, you know, due to his lack of discipline, poor school performance, the chronic obsessive Lorenzo was forced to drop out of school after the 10th grade in mid-1960s. He met a young woman named Renee Hill, with whom he soon began a relationship. On November 20th, 1968, Gill and Hill married. After the later learned she was pregnant. Following the marriage, Gilyard began to indulge in crime and exhibit deviant sexual behavior towards women and his criminal activities. In January 1969, Gilyard was arrested on charges of assaulting and raping a girl he knew, but was later released when a regulation agreement was reached between the two parties, with the victims retracting the charges after Lorenzo apologized to her. In 1970, Gilyard's father was convicted of rape. So his father was convicted of rape, and then he was convicted. So, like father, like son, you think? Alrighty. 2 years later, Gilyard himself was arrested again for raping and assaulting another woman, with the victim claiming that he had choked her into unconsciousness. She identified Gilyard as a culprit from the lineup, but her testimony was considered questionable and charges were subsequently dropped. Well, like I said, I'm still going. I hope it just stays. I hate when it does that. So, and we're strangled with, right here. Okay. In 1972, Gilyard was arrested for assaulting his wife, with Hill telling police that he had been physically and sexually abusing her for years. They had been married. Ultimately, he forced pay fine to divorce his wife. 1974, he was arrested for raping a 25-year-old exotic dancer who identified himself as attacker from a photograph. Yet, his charges were dropped. And 5 months later, he was arrested on charges for raping a 13-year-old daughter of a friend in Banks, Missouri River. And the victim changed her testimony. The rape charges were dropped. And he really had minor 9-month sentence and all that sentences he had. And he married second time. And he left him with the file for divorce, claiming that, like Rena, she was been beaten and sexually abused by her husband. And so he was married the third time. 1979, Gilbert was arrested on charges of assaulting a young couple, raping the girl, and threatening to kill her fiance. Despite the fact that victims identified him as an attacker, Gilbert was arrested. Gilbert was acquitted in jury verdict in September 1980 trial due to lack of evidence. A few months later, he was arrested and for aggravated assault for the third time for his third wife. Assault, rape, and choking as the third wife. Hey, I've only been married too, so I've never hit a woman or kids before in my life. I'm actually scared of women because I get kicked out of by my daughter's mother. So, So there. Even though I've been a criminal myself, so So yeah. 1979. Okay, I did that. So basically, whatever he did, Gilbert attacked his ex-wife separate occasions. In his first one, he knocked out her front teeth. So basically, he knocked out the first teeth. He stabbed her with a nice pick, and and so on, so on, so on, and so he received a 4-year prison sentence for violating his probation. He does. Oh, he was third degree, but he had a suspended sentence on probation. Okay. During incarceration, his sister, a prostitute, was convicted murdering a client in 1983 and sentenced to 11 years in prison. Oh, so this is the thing here. He was arrested and charged with third-degree assault, but he was let go on suspended sentence and probation. In November 1981, Gilyard was arrested for theft, but was released on $3,500 bail. That same spring, he received a 4-year prison term for violating his probation. During his incarceration, his sister, Patricia D. Dixon, a prostitute, was convicted of murdering a client in 1983 and sentenced to 11 years in prison, in addition to being implicated for murder of another prostitute. On January 10, 1983, Gilbert was paroled. He soon returned back to prison. He was arrested in County, Kansas, for making a bomb threats. He was released again in late 1985, and he keeps on getting in jail, released, in jail, released. Well, I don't care less. So he's been married 4 times. So I'm going to leave that, and I'm going to leave this too. So this, I'm going to leave. He was strangled with the very items of the. Oh, that's what he does. He killed between 1977 to 1983. All of them were from the ages of 15 to 36 and were strangled with various items including nylon stockings, laces, and wire. Their bodies were found dumped in various areas around Kansas City in landfills, snowdrifts, abandoned buildings, vans, fields, and parking lots. All but one known prostitute, 9, were found earlier either fully or partially naked, and 11 were sexually assaulted. The murders were considered unrelated until 1994, when police forensically linked two of them to each other. As a result of the finding, Gilyard was arrested on April 2004 and charged with 12 counts of first-degree murder. And his victims was Stacie L. Stanford, 17, last seen alive on April 10, 1977. Her body was found a week later at a vacant lot bearing signs of suffocation. The subsequent investigation determined that Swofford, a transient sex worker, had recently arrived in Kansas City. Number 2, Gwendolyn Kizine, whatever you pronounce that name, was found strangled on January 20th, 1980, the day after her father had reported her missing. She was found strangled, and on 23rd, 1980, she was found. When found, her neck was wrist. Yeah, I knew it.